Hello, everyone. I'm Stacy Sherman, founder of Doing CX Right. For many years, I've been on a mission to create and inspire better experiences so that real human connections and happiness can exist. There's a lot of inspirational stories to share, and today I want to highlight one that is real meaningful in light of International Day of People with Disabilities. Let me start off by introducing someone I call my family and close friend who has a fantastic first name, Stacy. Welcome, Stacy Hirschberg.
Hi, Stacy. Glad to be here. I appreciate the time with you and that there's even a day for this that can bring more attention to people who have gone through challenges like myself.
I agree. This is actually the first year I even heard about this World Day. And so that's why I'm really taking a conscious effort to celebrate with the world. And I'm glad we're talking. I've been reading a lot about what it's like to live with physical disabilities and amazed by some of the statistics. I've learned, for example, by the WHO World Report that 15% of the world's population, more than a billion people, are living with a disability, and that 450 million are living with a mental or neurological condition. Isn't that a lot?
I know. I also read that 2/3 of these people will not even seek professional medical help due to stigma, discrimination, and feeling for neglect reasons.
Yeah, it's astonishing and experiences. Are you surprised by these facts?
I'm surprised and saddened to hear that so many people are afraid to seek help because of fear and worrying of judgment. I'll admit that when I was younger, I felt this way too. During high school, I didn't want to lose friends because of it. People didn't want to hang out with me because I always had casts and crutches. I couldn't always do what they were doing. I'm a twin, and when my sister left for college, that's when it really affected me. I made a point of always saying I was fine because I was afraid of losing friends.
Mm, I can only imagine from your shoes. I want to get to your journey and experience because you weren't born with mobility and related difficulties. And I'm interested to know what's it like from your shoes.
I'm a teacher of children with disabilities, and what makes my story a little bit more challenging is that I have both disabilities that are visual that you can see and medical problems that are not visual when you look at me. I was born a typical identical twin.
Mm.
Thankfully, my sister does not have these conditions. I had a normal childhood until the age of 15 when I woke up one morning suddenly and couldn't walk. After a lot of testing and surgical diagnostics and countless doctors, we found out that I have a rare medical condition that prevents me from absorbing vitamin C into my body like a typical person would.
Mm-hmm.
My body only absorbs vitamin C intravenously. So when you lack vitamin C in your body, everything deteriorates. It helps with muscles and bones and skin healing. So when your body doesn't have vitamin C, everything just breaks down. And this has led me to needing 84 surgeries.
Mm.
I also have a rare blood clotting disorder, a heart problem, advanced arthritis, and a rare condition called Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, all of which have complicated my surgical recoveries and have left me disabled in my life today.
Yeah, I there's a lot of moving parts, and having known
Yes.
you over the years, there's a lot to each of what you just said. But at the end of the day, it's really impacted your life, and especially because you weren't born with it, so you know what life was before and
Mhm.
now. So on that note, I want to talk about three different aspects, perspectives of your life. One is as a shopper, what I call customer experience, CX. I always say that people are brand loyal. They choose companies based on how easy it is to interact and to do business with them. It's about a feeling and satisfaction which goes way beyond price factors. Do you agree with this statement?
I do, definitely. I choose to buy from companies where the staff is empathetic and helpful. I know recently I've had my own situations where I've been in stores by myself with full carts, a cast on my arm,
Mm.
crutches, and I've asked employees if there's shorter lines to stand on to help out with my mobility, and I've been told no. And it's unfortunate in today's society that there's not always empathy, so that I didn't have to be put in a position and made more uncomfortable with my challenging situation. I could have easily been helped. There have
Mm.
been other experiences where I'm by myself and the employee's bagging my purchases and she's just shoving things at me. And I've had to say, I can't grab those, or please help me. And the employee has apologized for not looking at me to see my disabilities. Situations like that could have easily been avoided by greeting a person with eye contact. I shouldn't have to apologize for my disabilities to the store employees.
Really, it leaves me speechless because it's the opposite of what
Mhm.
needs to be. You're not the one that's supposed to be apologizing or feeling badly about who you are and what you're facing. It's the company and it's the organizations that really need to make that experience
Right.
easy for you and caring as a human being. I want to shift to you as an employee experience. What is that like from a professional standpoint with disabilities?
As a teacher, I've found that I've had to work harder to achieve the same status in my boss's eyes versus a typical coworker. I've had to mask my disability to fit in with coworkers. I'm not entitled to accommodations without risking my job. I've been made to walk stairs with crutches and casts on my arms, carrying things long distances. It's sad but true in today's society that I could not be myself. I'm a teacher of students with disabilities, and I myself had to mask my own disability so as not to risk my employment.
Mask your disabilities. I mean, think about that statement, and how many others out there feel that they need to shield who they are. What do you want people to know who work with colleagues and leaders who manage people with disabilities? What can they do to improve work cultures? Because we know that when employees feel cared for and valued, they deliver better customer
Right.
experiences and experiences for each other, even when their boss isn't looking.
I think that it's not hard to accommodate someone in need. If a person can't walk stairs easily, allow them to have an office on the first floor. If someone cannot carry something, provide them with multiple copies of whatever they may need so that they don't have to put themselves in a position that's going to lead them to failure.
Mm.
Ask your employee what it is they need to help them succeed. Everybody wants to feel successful at what they do. Communication, I think, is key.
Everything you're describing, it's do the basics and ask employees, ask your colleagues, ask customers, what do they need? How can you be of help? There's no reason to guess. Just ask, they'll tell you.
That's right. That's right. Something as simple as just asking.
Yeah, communication, boy, we can dive into that topic alone for hours. Speaking of a topic that you could talk for days is patient experience. What comes to mind when I say patient experiences?
I've tried to add up how many hours I've spent sitting in doctors' waiting rooms, and it's just endless and impossible. And I get it. Everyone is sitting there in the same boat, but sometimes it just becomes so frustrating. I wish that secretaries and medical staff and doctors understood what it felt like to just sit and wait. It is so important, I think, for doctors to have a good bedside manner. A
Mm.
lot of the time, the news they're delivering is not good, and it just rolls off their tongues like they're asking me to pass the butter at a dinner table. I wish compassion and empathy and understanding was something practiced,
Mhm.
especially when I'm hospitalized and you have a lot of new doctors and new medical staff coming to the bedside. No introductions, no eye contact. Those little touches mean a lot to someone like me who receives negative news a lot of the time. And I'm fortunate through the years to have formed a wonderful team of doctors with compassion and empathy, but it took a long time and many years to get to this point.
You've been a self advocate, which, having known you over the years, I mean, it's clearly saved your life from, I mean, if you weren't so on top of your team, and what do you think about this whole advocacy and yeah, I mean, it sounds like
I
there's a field
agree.
for that.
Yes, yes. I think that patients definitely need advocates, especially complicated patients that see a lot of different doctors. You have to advocate for yourself. And that's what I did for my dad, who unfortunately passed away recently, and my grandmother, who's sick. You need to be on top of their care and your own care to make sure everybody is together on the same team.
If there was a magic wand and you can improve patient experience, what would you advise to the medical field, the professionals?
I would remind doctors to put themselves in their patient's shoes and figure out how to help the patient's life be more manageable. Even if your patient's future is not going to improve medically,
Mm.
always provide some sort of hope so that that patient has something to grasp onto. Mindset, I feel, has so much to do with recovery, and it's important for people living with disabilities.
Mm.
Gives them something to hope for.
I mean, as a customer of brands, as an employee of organizations, and as a patient, and if all of those can be easier, if all of those were better experiences, think how much better your life would be, and for billions of people in the world too. This has been an inspiring conversation, and I really believe that this discussion will touch people's hearts and lead to positive changes because of your stories and the awareness that we're bringing.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, Stacy, to tell my story. And I hope that it does bring awareness and helps other people feel more confident about themselves.
What's one lesson that you want people to remember?
There's many situations that if a doctor or my boss had communicated with me, full transparency and timely updates, it would have made my situation less challenging, less stressful, feeling like it's more manageable. It's all about communication, and that's something in everyone's control.
I'd also add that we need to humanize business. We need to increase empathy at every role of the organization, whether you're at the front desk or you are the doctor or you are the CEO. It doesn't matter what role you have, that
Mhm.
empathy, incorporating training for the staff members, and more focus on diversity and inclusion initiatives in every company size, because when employees feel included, when they feel appreciated, when they feel cared for,
Mhm.
that's when the magic happens. That's when they pay it forward.
Yes,
And that's when we all collectively will have it better.
and that's very important.
Yes. Well, thank you again. And I look forward to more conversations.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye bye.